Hey folks, Jim Gale here again with Brian Hickok and Nick Atkinson behind the camera. And today we're going to talk about colloidal silver and all of the benefits. And folks, I'm learning this stuff along with you. Brian's the expert. He's actually been giving me this stuff for about 5 years. And my daughter, at times we had like pink eye and different things. This stuff does a lot of good, and it's easier than you think to produce it at home. So Brian, what do we got here?
All right, thanks, Jim. All right, we have a silver generator, and this is the best of its kind. Here at Be Self-Reliant and PermaCube, that's what we're pushing, is self-reliance.
Yeah.
So when you purchase one of these, you'll have an endless supply of colloidal silver, ionic silver, 50-50. We're going to go into all the different definitions of what they do in this video. But the whole point of it is, so you have your own supply, and once you get this unit here, you're done. You don't have to buy anything else unless you break something.
Yeah.
So this is basically nature's antibiotic. And what I mean by that is, up until 1928, the FDA used to approve this for most of the orthodox medicine, and silver was widely used and widely talked about. But again, it's an element. You can't patent an element. So that's, what happened is pharmaceutical
makes me mad.
companies really had an influence around that time, the early part of the 20th century, and they didn't want this competing with their antibiotics. So silver got pushed to the wayside.
Yep.
And that's why you don't see it so much. But we're going to show you how easy it is to make your own, produce your own supply, and how beneficial it is to you and your family.
Isn't that cool? I mean, geez, to think about what some people did because they wanted to sell their product instead of allowing people to create their own. I understand sales. I love selling. But when you hurt people in the process, it's absolutely no good. So that's why we're bringing this to you so you can do your own. Now, you have to learn a little bit, but you don't have to learn that much to see the value in this stuff. So what does this do?
Okay, so what we have here in this generator and what's going on here is we have two 7-gauge silver electrodes, and these rods are the thickest of their kind. You won't find 7-gauge silver out there anyway. It's the purest of their kind, 99.99% silver. That type of purity is also very rare. And some of the patented things about this particular unit are its ability to have a dynamic current. It reverses the polarity of these two rods. So in a lot of like homemade systems you'll see there on YouTube and that, you basically just have a battery, one hooked up to the negative, one to the positive, and then on the negative side you'll see it collect a lot of the silver. What happens if any of that breaks off, it ruins your solution. So as you can see here, there's very little of that residual silver that it's making it darker. Normally this has been running for about 2 hours now. It takes about 4 hours for the whole process to get your 30 parts per million, which is a very high concentration. It's the best I've seen. Now you go to Whole Foods, any of these grocery health stores, and you'll see a little bottle like this, $40, $30 minimum. And so think about that. You've got infinite supply, and these rods, we're talking atoms here, so they're never gonna lose.
They're gonna last forever.
Yep. You'll never be able to make enough to see any difference.
Yep.
In the gauge of those.
So you're saying a little bottle like this is $30 at the store, and you could literally buy this machine and make endless supplies.
Endless supply.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what does it do for your health?
All right. So nature's antibiotic. What does an antibiotic do for your health? Everything, right? It's the breakthrough of the 20th century, right? So that cures, it attacks all pathogens, viruses, and fungi in your blood supply. This is great because the best way to get silver into your body or anything without an injection, and that's kind of intrusive in itself, is through your lungs. So this is a nebulizer. It's an ultrasonic nebulizer. It doesn't use any air pumps, anything like that. It's using ultrasonic technology to create. Again, size is everything when we're talking. So ionic means it's an atom, little bitty, that's missing. It's out, and the electron in the outer valence of that is missing. Other than that, it's a silver atom. But what does that mean? It means it has a positive charge now, because electrons are negative charge, and protons in the nucleus of the atom are positively charged. You got 47 of them and an atom of silver. If it's missing one of its electrons, that makes the charge positive. So now it has a positive charge. It's going to seek out to find a negatively charged particle in your body. So in that, guess what? Happens to be bacteria, virus, and fungi. So all these pathogens are going to be electrically attracted to by these charged particles.
I know this might be kind of hokey and it might not be scientific, but the positive sounds like it kills the negative.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
In a way, at least in this case, in this scenario.
And again, size is important too. So like a silver ion is 0.23 nanometers. Yeah. Now, what's a nanometer? Well, let's say a human hair, the width of a human hair is 1 mile. If you took a pea and stuck it on a mile marker, say a mile of road,
wow,
that's what it is in comparison.
Now that's tiny.
Yep, one little atom of silver on a human hair is the same as 1 pea on a mile of road.
So that can go through and travel throughout your whole body, right through all the barriers, and it can attack the things that we want it to attack, or neutralize might be a better word, right?
Yep, absolutely. So it attaches because of its charge to these pathogens, and it disrupts its ability to survive. It disrupts its ability to metabolize oxygen that it needs to survive. It basically suffocates it, and it dies. And we're talking trillions. So there's trillions of these. When you breathe in this nebulizer here, you breathe this in, and you breathe in like 30 deep breaths every other day, just as a maintenance. And then if you're sick, you could even take more. But again, we go back to the, don't take my advice. This is just what we're
doing. But, again, we have to say, check with your doctor and all that stuff. But this is, and there's also a lot of science behind this. This isn't, I used to think a lot of this stuff was just somebody trying to sell something that sounded cool. There's a ton of science behind this now. There's a lot of studies done that show the effects of this kind of treatment for your body. In fact, we can prove it. We can show how some of the distilled water, right?
Yep. Oh, so, we want to get back to the how-to of what we're doing here. So this gauge comes with your kit, and what this is doing is it's using an electrical charge to detect how many parts per million are in any substance. So this is distilled water. So almost everything's out of it. There's a chance there could be something. So what you want is 1 or less.
It's 0. Show that.
Is that 0? No.
Oh, there you go. 1.
Okay, so 1. So
face it towards the camera if they can see it.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
So 1, and that means it's good. That means there's 1 part per million of something in there.
Yeah.
And
that's good distilled water.
That's good distilled water.
Now, should we contrast it?
Yeah. Now this is ionic silver, and I made this about 6 months ago. Now, if you store these silvers like this, they're good for about a year, and then what'll happen is they'll fall out, is what they call it, and you'll start to see the silver in the bottom. Now, a good way to test that is to pour it in a clear glass before you use it, and if you see any gray in there, then you know it's not harmful at all, but it's lost its potentiality. It's not really gonna offer you any benefit. So, but if we measure this, now this was 30 parts per million, which is great. That's a great number. That's what I was telling you about in the store. So, oh yeah, look at this. We got 31 parts.
All right, turn that to
30 parts per million. So we're still holding the value that we had for 6 months now. So that's great.
And that's what, at the end of 4 hours, this came out of there.
Yep. And this is the ionic. Now, why would we make colloidal then? And what is colloidal? So colloidal is, what we do is we'll add a reducing agent. And that's this here. This comes with your kit too. And basically what you're doing is you're giving the silver the electrons that it's missing. So it's giving it the power to bind or bond together and create silver particles. And now a silver particle now is great for the digestive system because you have hydrochloric acid in your stomach and you don't want it to combine with the chloride. So what you do is use these silver particles, and they no longer have that such a small amount that they could still have a lot of potential because it still has that positive charge. But what's going to happen is it's a chunk of silver now, if you want to think of it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still nano. It's still much smaller than the pathogens in your body, but it's a lot bigger than just an atom of silver.
Right.
But that's basically the breakthrough that hydrochloric acid barrier and get into your gut and get out all the bad bacteria that's in there.
Now, you're telling me a pink eye story. Did that have to do with, or was it the pH how have you benefited the most from this product?
Yeah, now the ionized silver is great because you don't have any salt on your skin, clean skin, or in your eyes or ears or any of that. So that's when you use the ionized. And I got conjunctivitis or pink eye about 8 years ago and sprayed it, several times. You just spray it pretty much constantly, every 5 minutes or so. And went to bed, woke up, completely gone.
Yeah.
So.
And normally that's like a 3-day to a week long nasty problem.
Yeah. And it's very contagious, but I mean this stuff really works. It's nature's antibiotic.
Awesome.
Again.
So awesome. And tell us about the pH thing. Now, the pH thing, there are so many people on Tums and antacids and Rolaids. It's like a national epidemic because of the foods we eat, the horrible foods that most of us eat on a daily basis. So how can this help us?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so sugar, carbohydrates, carbonated drinks, alcohol,
proteins,
all these things make your body acidic. Well, pathogens thrive in an acidic environment. So you want to raise the pH level of your body and make it more alkaline. So a lot of, like, my water here has an alkaline system in it.
Yeah.
Which will actually bring the pH of this water up to 8 or 8.5.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good, And 10 is 100 times more than 8.
Yeah.
And why is that? It's because it's logarithmic. So it's going up by a multiple of 10 each time. Yeah. So that's 100 times from 8 to 10.
Right.
So 4 ounces of this. Yeah. If you drink 4 ounces of this, it's like drinking 400 ounces of the alkalized water that you'll see in the store sometime that promotes such good health.
Right. That's just amazing, folks. So this has so many benefits. In fact, that's what we'll do. We'll put links and stuff so you can see a lot of the other benefits that come from these systems. What else do you think is pertinent?
Oh, okay, 50-50. People are probably saying, what the heck is 50-50? Yeah. Well, it's what it says, ionic and colloidal. So now we'll use the same meter to, let me rinse this off. Everything has to be clear because it still has particles. So distilled water is to clean all of this stuff.
Yep.
And it always has to be distilled.
Good stuff. And with a solar water distiller, you can distill your own water with the PermaCube. It's a pretty cool process.
So now we'll test how many parts per million are in this 50-50. It's going to be less.
Oh, there you go.
So about 20. That's 20, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So 20 parts per million. Now the reason why is I put a reducing agent. So I reduced the number of particles, parts per million, in this 16-ounce jar. Now the reason why is because I want the benefits of the colloidal, which we talked about earlier, for your digestive system, but the benefits of the ionic too. Being a smaller particle, it has more surface area. The more surface area you could get from anything, the more potency it's going to have.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So
get
that's basically the science behind it. So this you could use, you could breathe it, you could drink it, you could, And again, just what you want to do is kind of use what works for you. Mm-hmm. So if it's stomach problems, just go strictly with the colloidal.
and dig in. You study this stuff a little bit, folks. I mean, you know, we'll be sending out regular emails, we'll be doing regular videos, and we're going to get really specific. We want to talk in general about the benefits of this stuff, but then we might do a video that just on how to fix your digestive tract using some of the things that we are providing, and so on and so on and so on. So dig in, do some research, learn about this stuff, because this is the cure. If you're going to be spending X amount of dollars per year on the other, you know, things that are really just masks of symptoms, then, well, think about taking that same amount of time value, putting it into self-education, and then doing this stuff yourself. I guarantee you, it's a way better value in every way.
Yeah. So. And now, what we started with, we said we were trying to get you back to this self-reliance.
Yeah.
And away from this orthodox medicine. So go to my website, it's beselfreliant.site, and go to the pharmaceutical link in there, and you'll see, you know, great reports. There's a really good one by James Corbett,
yeah.
And he's pretty popular now on the alternative media, and he's got it's called Rockefeller Medicine, and he takes it from where they started, what they wanted to do, and all the documentation to where they are now. People are like, oh, that was the robber barons at the beginning of the 20th century. They don't really have any influence now. Well, this video will show you it's the exact opposite. It has more influence than it did even back then. So
tell us about the lobbyists. Just one factoid that's just amazing.
Oh yeah, the lobbyists for the pharmaceutical companies spend 3 times as much in lobbying fees as they do in taxes. I mean, what else do you need to know?
That's wrong. I mean, insanely wrong. Why would a lobbyist need I mean, obviously, they're influencing government. Otherwise, there would be no such thing. And if they're influencing government to do things, even if it harms us, that's kind of how it's going to be. Of course, they're going to spin it, folks. That's why you got to take it into your own hands. You got to be self-reliant. Learn how to produce your own food, harvest water. Learn how to create energy, and learn how to create medicine. And if you like what we're doing, folks, please like and share. This is our business. I'm in this all in, you know, and it's what I'm dedicating my life to. So please like, share, comment. Let us know what you want to learn about in this realm, and we'll put it together for you, folks. So have a great day, and ciao for now.
Bye.